Everyone, and welcome to another episode of Flipping Out. It's your host, Paul Eisel, and today we're going to get into one of my favorite topics. Easy for me to say, right? Cryptocurrency, and especially Bitcoin, because what I'm seeing right now is a lot of movement in the market. The market has had a serious uptick over the past couple of months, kind of going flat now here through the middle of September. We're at September 25th, quickly flying through this year here. And Bitcoin is sitting right around 10,700 at this point. But what I'm seeing in the market is some mainstream use of cryptos, and in particular, Bitcoin. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, I'm going to do a little screen share so you can see. This is MicroStrategy CEO revealing that he purchased two different major investment in Bitcoin. And he's doing with the company's cash. Basically, he's sitting on cash and he realizes that the dollar is degrading, right? The dollar has been devalued. It's gone down quite a bit over the past few months. It's starting an uptick. It probably will have a little bit of an uptick. We'll see here because it's been particularly pounded on the last couple of months. But he sees inflation coming and he's trying to offset that with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is digital gold. People see it as digital gold, right? It's not easy to carry around gold bars when you want to go from place to place, but it's very easy to carry around cryptos. I can carry it around on this phone. I can have it on my laptop. Very easy to transfer, very liquid, very easy to turn into cash. I don't have to take my gold bars to a shop to sell them, right? Or find somebody on Craigslist to sell them to. So it is much more liquid. It is a digital gold. So you got to remember that when looking at cryptocurrencies. Okay, so he originally invested $250 million in Bitcoin. And I believe this was done in the middle of August that he did this. And he's kind of like dollar cost averaging, buying it a couple times here. He bought an additional $175 million in September, middle of September. I believe it was September 15th. But he had an August 11th announcement, 21,454 Bitcoin purchased with the 250 million, then an additional 16,796 purchased in September. So pretty substantial purchases, right? Basically becomes a Bitcoin whale at this point, and he's looking to leverage the cash and hopefully gain value. I believe Bitcoin is up either 47 or 49% on a year, right in that range. So he feels it's got more upside to it, obviously, and he doesn't want it just sitting in cash earning 0.25%, 1%, 2%, whatever he would earn with that. But he also did say, and keep this in mind, right, because I want to be fair with it here. I know I love cryptos, but there's other investments you can be in too. He likes it because it can be very liquid. And if he decides he wants to move it into bonds, he can cash some out or all of it out and move into bonds. And this is something that's really important because if this gentleman has success with this, you can bet there's going to be a lot of other CEOs looking to do this, a lot of other owners of companies to be doing the same thing he's doing. Now, another positive thing news-wise that has come out in favor of Bitcoin is Jack Dorsey talking about it. And here's, you see the price. And again, this is September 25th, $10,716.32. So you can see it's been fairly stable. So Square CEO Jack Dorsey says Bitcoin holds the keys to security, and he likes what the future of Bitcoin is, right? And this is important when you had enough of these CEOs start talking about it, enough people start talking favorably about it, it's going to force the banks in this direction. It's going to force people in this direction. And one of the things they really need to do, and I'll be honest on this one, they need to make wallets simpler. It's not easy for us to remember 20 keywords, to have all these different things stored on all these different devices and hidden and know this and that. It's got to be simpler. If it can't be as simple as my face recognition, then I'm going to be worried about it, right? It's not going to feel secure because basically these things become bearer bonds. And there's a reason. Now, there's only 21 million Bitcoins that will be in existence, right? It's an algorithm based, which is what makes it a digital gold. But 5 million have been permanently lost. So now you're down to 16 million. So it makes it even more desirable. So this is something that's really important to look at with these things and to make it easy. The easier they make it, the more mainstream it will become. Because I can tell you, my parents, my grandparents wouldn't feel comfortable having 20 seed words written down, have to put it in 3 different spots, maybe a safety deposit box, and know where everything is and feel comfortable using it, right? It's just not going to happen. It's got to be easier. Another big positive quality to me about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies in general is they are decentralized. Dorsey gets into it right here, talking about the decentralization, which is great because I got my cell phone, you got your cell phone, you're trying to sell me a car, I'm going to buy it. If I want to pay you in Bitcoin, boom, send it over to you, comes to yours. You want to turn that Bitcoin into cash, sell it on the exchange, convert it to cash, the US dollar coin, boom, over to your checking account, you got cash. It's quick, easy, no cost for the transaction, right? You know, any wire fees, any Western Union fees. So there's so many benefits that come with this blockchain technology that, you know, it's going to be staggering. There's going to be great benefits for it in the real estate world as well. Another big benefit of the cryptos is when you and I do that transaction, and when we do that deal on our phone, it goes from my phone to your phone, to my virtual wallet to your virtual wallet, it can be done any time of day. It doesn't matter. There's no wire cutoff at 3 p.m. or 5 p.m., right? It's any time of day, boom, it goes through. It's going to go through in seconds, worst case, a couple of minutes. And there you go. You got your deal peer-to-peer without having to cost you a penny in any transaction fees. Got another article here that talks about the big banks that are starting to enter the cryptocurrency world, basically the investment in here. Over the years, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan have poo-pooed Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, saying they were scams. Obviously, they're trying to, whenever you see that, they're trying to push people into another direction. But you have Deutsche Bank getting involved right now. Then there's HSBC and some UK and Hong Kong banks as well that are getting involved with it, especially with IBM, because IBM has gone all in to blockchain technology. They are all in. They're transforming the company. They understand the future, where blockchain is. And to give you an idea where blockchain is heading to, if you think about it for the real estate side, for us investing, for the counties, when they record the deeds, if you know how much deed fraud is going on right now, if you do it on a blockchain, have a blockchain built out for your county, let's say, or for the state, and 10,000 computers are on it, okay? And John and Jane Doe have a mortgage with Wells Fargo, and somebody comes in there and tries to do a refi, steal their equity, and do deed fraud, the blockchain is not going to allow them to do that. They're not going to be able to hack in, get that information and do that. It's going to be so much more secure. So the security of what blockchain gives you is going to be great. It's going to really help the real estate industry. It's going to help consumers overall because it's so much more impenetrable than it is obviously to go in and hack and get our stuff off of right now, off of our credit cards, our debit cards, or our bank accounts. So it's really going to help with that kind of stuff as well. So there's so many benefits that it's giving here, which is why you see the big banks moving in this direction. All right, now let's talk about the benefit of the big banks getting into cryptocurrencies. Beneficial for us in some ways, okay? They will make it easier for us to hold and facilitate the purchase and resale of cryptocurrencies, because right now, I think I've said this before, if you have to have 20 seed words when you store these on your cold storage wallet, and you have to have all these passwords, all this info, it is going to push so many people out of it, right? Because it's too much of a pain in the ass to deal with. So you're not going to, if you don't make it easy, people won't do it. It's pretty easy. Follow the KISS theory in life, keep it simple, stupid, and you'll do better. So if the big banks decide to be the holding companies for you, and they hold it on their platform, which hopefully is very secure, but not necessarily, that makes it easier. It'll become more mainstream and more people will do it. The reason I think that they have to do it is because if not, they're going to become irrelevant. People will start being their own bank and doing things this way, cutting all their costs, all their fees out of there. And if it's that simple to go on your phone, which people are very comfortable with now, right? You have an app called Venmo. I use Venmo all the time. I collect rent on Venmo. I pay contractors on Venmo. Other people use Zelle. Zelle's a very similar thing, not quite as user-friendly as Venmo, but Venmo basically is setting you up for the use of crypto digital currencies. And, we're quickly becoming a cashless society. It's just going that direction. So it's going to do away with a large part of that underground market. That underground market may become gold and silver coins. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. That's true money anyway, where the cryptos are, and the cryptos are basically a currency. Some of them are. Some of them are not. Like I said, I look at Bitcoin as storage of wealth, digital gold. I look at Litecoin as digital silver, a storage of wealth as well. And Ethereum, the DeFi network, do some research, Google the DeFi network and see how many cryptos are involved with that. Chainlink is another big one that's really starting to grow. Digibyte, which you can get for about 2.5 cents. There's some really good ones out there that you can look at. Again, not financial advice. I'm just giving you information that I know out there. Do a lot of your own research. They're the future. They will be used by our children. They will be used by our grandchildren. They might not know what banking is down the road. Just something to look at, keep in mind. And it's something to potentially invest in, to throw some money in. You put play money in that if you're going to do it, money you would take to Las Vegas or Atlantic City that you don't mind losing. Let's dive a little bit deeper into this article here. Why do banks like BBVA and USAA, why have they started investing in Bitcoin? But they see the growth, right? They obviously see the growth. They're starting to take it seriously now because it's becoming more and more mainstream. They understand blockchain, right? And ledger technology and smart contracts. So they are becoming a mainstream for the banks. So the banks are starting to get into them, and the banks that get into them early will be the banks that are successful. For those that wait, like a lot of your community banks, they're going to be hitting, they're going to be hurting if they don't get in there quick enough. And a lot of them may not survive. So keep that in mind too. You see some of these banks stagnating, stay away from those banks, right? The ones that go to it a little bit quicker. Deutsche Bank kind of has to, because they're in financial ruins right now. I mean, that bank is just a shit show. So they've got issues, but Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they better start, because if they don't, there's going to be issues. Here we go on how banks can integrate Bitcoin. Basically, they can use not just Bitcoin, but any of the cryptos, right? They can use this to kind of replace the ACH, replace wire transfers, which are ripe with fraud right now. And I was hit for fraud of over $27,000 this year with wire fraud. And it was an unbelievable scheme, and they did an unbelievable job. That's a whole other podcast episode I can do with that. But this, obviously, blockchain, it's rules-based, it's very simple. And it would eliminate this totally. So it's something the banks are definitely looking to move in this direction, and it will definitely help them, but it will cut on their costs. Obviously, they can charge a lot for these wires and these ACHs. They're not going to be able to charge these inordinate fees for doing blockchain transactions right now, because people can do it for free, peer-to-peer. So, but like I said, in order to get the older population in, this is going to be a way to do it. And they don't know how a wire works anyway. They don't know how an ACH works. So this is no different. As long as they feel it's safe and secure, they're going to run with it. Now, one of the disadvantages of Bitcoin, well, it's disadvantage for some people. It's a positive for the most part, but everything is on the ledger. So there's a history on it, right? Which means it's going to be much better to use for an accounting practice, right? There's going to be a ledger which shows money going in, money going out. So it's pretty plain and simple. You can't hide it, can't change it, can't do anything, because all 50 million computers have to agree on this, which is what makes this technology so powerful. It's really a pretty simple technology when you think about it. The fact that it took so long to come around is kind of amazing, but obviously it's probably something to do with our computer capability and graphics cards. but this is our future. Get used to it, learn as much as you can about blockchain technology, learn as much as you can about different wallets, cold storage wallets, which I own cold storage wallets because I want everything offline. But understand that they are much like a bearer bond, right? You lose it, you lose them, you lose the money. That's why 5 million Bitcoin have been permanently lost. Those people are probably still crying all over that. So understand it's a new technology. There's going to be all kinds of things you have to worry about and figure out and learn, as with anything else. But it is definitely a leap up from the system we have right now. Looking forward to the new financial system to get rid of this old prehistoric financial system. Hope you guys got a lot out of this episode. Appreciate it. I'm going to do more. I'm going to add more. I'm going to try to interview some people in the crypto world so I can keep you guys updated. And you can hopefully, the education level just increases for both myself and the people, all my audience out there.